Hello, here is your full body Pilates workout. In this workout we're using our foundation exercises, so you won't find any sort of crazy variations in the moves today, but we're working on those building blocks of Pilates, the moves that sort of lead us up to all of the other exciting, not that this isn't exciting, but the more sort of flamboyant exercises that you might do later on. Today we're working with, I've got my Pilates head cushion. This is just a thin cushion. You can just use a little cushion or a towel rolled up, and a yoga block. Again, you can grab a cushion, a slightly bigger cushion for this, so when we go into side lying we'll need a little bit more of a prop. Those are the only props we're going to need today. I'm just going to start on the mat in our relaxation position. So starting on the mat, lying down, feet a comfortable distance from your bum, feet hip width apart, rib cage down, pelvis nice and neutral. Just going to start by bringing the hands towards the ribs, and we're just going to breathe in and out. Just take a few moments here to connect with the breath, letting the shoulders feel relaxed. I'm using my head cushion here just to get a bit more alignment. So if you find that your chin might be jutting back or tucking down, see if a cushion helps. It's just keeping your neck nice and free. So just keep breathing there. If you don't have a cushion, that's also fine. Don't worry about it. Take a few more breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Letting your lower back feel nice and heavy, your sacrum. Feet planted on the floor. I'm just going to bring the arms alongside the body. I'm going to start with a bit of mobilization of the shoulders into our rib cage closure. So keeping the arms nice and long and straight and the palms facing forward, you're going to raise the arms up as high as you can without disturbing that lovely settled spine. So arms just going to hover, and then you're going to exhale to bring the arms back down. Not much else is needed in terms of centering or core, because we're just nicely on the mat. So using that breath that you've connected with to inhale back and forth. Length through the arms. Try to find your limit, but when you keep that rib cage nice and low. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. There should be no other movement in the body apart from those arms going back and forth, reaching and down. Let's do one more. Inhaling, we go back. Exhaling, we draw forwards. We're just going to settle the arms back on the mat, and then we're going to do some compass. So we're going to wake up the pelvis area a little bit. So imagining your pelvis is a compass. So the belly button is north, opposite down towards the feet is south, to the left is east, and to the right is west. So we're first just going to rock north to south. So I think one inhale forward, one exhale lengthens back. Focus on the movement of the bones, just waking up the pelvis, waking up, using our breath and nice connecting with that lovely movement. And it's a really lovely one to lengthen through the back, lower back, especially if you feel particularly sore there. Let's go for one more. Forward and back. Then settle somewhere that's neither north or south. It's just nicely settled down, and then we're going to go east to west, so right to left. Now movement here is not going to be as big. So north and south, you've got lots of movement, but east to west you won't. But just keep the head relaxed on the floor. Just go from side to side, feeling that movement and connecting with the pelvis. Inhaling for one direction, exhaling for the other. Let's go for one more, east to west, and then settle somewhere nicely in the middle. We're going to now start mobilizing our hips a little bit. I'm just going to single peel the right heel off and single knee fold the right leg, keeping that nice neutral pelvis that you just had. We're going to do some knee circles. So the bottom of the leg is going to stay parallel to the ground, and we're going to take the knee in towards us, across the body, away and round, drawing circles with the knee. Inhaling for half, exhaling for half, just waking up that hip, and focus on keeping the pelvis still. And when you finish that one you're on, we're just going to reverse. So we're going to go out, in, out, towards, in and around. I always get each direction mixed up. Out, away, in and back. There we go. Really focusing on dialing up the core to stop that knee from moving, keeping the hips down, the upper body relaxed. Just finish off the one you're on, and then you're going to bring that knee back to center, and then pop that foot back down onto the ground. And we're going to go on to the other side. So peel the left heel off, the left toe off. Make sure you're in that nice neutral pelvis. I'm going to go across the body, towards us, away and round. So keep the lower leg nice and parallel. Try not to let that heel drop. If that is too much for you with the leg parallel, though, you can relax the bottom half of the leg. Keep going. This will be our last one. So doing 3 on each side, 3 in each direction. Come back through center, and we're going to reverse. So I'm going to go towards, away, and across. So flowing through takes a lot of concentration. Anchoring that other hip down, coming round, across, back to center, and then we're going to pop that foot back down onto the ground. We're going to now mobilize the hips and the spine a little bit more with some spine curls. I'm going to add in some arms to this as well. So we're going to tilt the pelvis towards north and peel the hips up and off the mat, rolling through the spine, all the way up to the spine. The hips are nice and open. You're then going to bring both arms up overhead like we did at the beginning. Keep the arms overhead as you roll back through the spine, one bone at a time, relaxing the pelvis back to the bottom and bringing the arms back down. Let's add the breath. Let's inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll through the pelvis all the way to the top, sending the thighs long. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, peel the hips down towards the floor. And then exhale, arms come back down. Let's keep going like that. Following your breath, using your core to keep the hips nice and level. And thinking of keeping the ribs down. Resist flaring through the upper spine. So you're just focusing on bringing the hips nice and sort of open rather than the spine coming up. It's tempting to push through the spine, but opposing, feel the arms lengthening away and down. Let's do one more like that. Roll through the spine, one bone at a time. Reach away. Send the thighs away as you peel down, and then bring the arms back down. So the spine should be feeling nice and warm. We're going to wake up the top of the spine now. We're going to move your head cushion out the way if you're using one. We're going to interlace the hands behind the head. We're going to go into some curl ups. So just bring the elbows up into the peripheral vision. So it doesn't have to be super, super high up to the ears, just so you feel a nice opening through the chest. And we're going to keep the arms where they are. We're going to start with a nod of the chin, and we're going to flex the spine one bone at a time, coming up into your curl up as high as you can without disturbing the pelvis. You're going to pause at the top, then you're going to roll back down one bone at a time. So we inhale at the bottom. Exhale takes us up. Feel length through the back of the neck as you come up. I'm going to inhale to pause. I'm going to exhale to come back down one bone at a time. And do that 3 more times. Exhaling up. Inhale, pause. Relax the pelvis. Exhale, lower. Heads heavy in the hands. And inhaling at the bottom. Keep the ribs nice and soft. Keep the head nice and heavy. And try not to grip. It's really tempting to grip in the hips, to tense the lower core. Inhaling at the top. Exhaling, roll back down. And then we're going to let's do one more. Inhale, exhale to peel off, working those abdominals. Inhaling, pause. Exhaling, come back down, one bone at a time. Lovely. I'm going to remove the hands. I'm going to challenge our stability of our spine a little bit, and we're going to come into a single leg stretch, a version of a single leg stretch. So we're going to double knee fold the legs, so bring one knee up at a time. Let's pop the feet together, and knees are going to be hip distance apart. I'm going to curl up, keeping your neutral pelvis, and bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs. Let's inhale and stretch the right leg at a 45 degree angle. Right hand's going to go on top of left leg, and we're going to bring that leg back. So we're going to switch, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to bring back. And when you're up, you're trying to maintain your curl up the whole time. Try not to drop it. Keep the chin tucked. If you feel that you're losing your curl up, just come out of it for a second and come back in. We're just lengthening the leg away, mobilizing that hip. Out and in, swapping those hands. Out and in. Let's do one more round, one each side. In and out and in. Now, if you can, stay up in your curl up, stay up, because we're going to go straight into double leg stretch. So you're going to bring the hands down to the sides of the body as you stretch the legs out, and bring that in and out and in. So we're inhaling out, exhaling back. Inhale out, exhale back. Just 3 more. Inhale out, exhale back. Keep your curl up. My hands are just hovering along the floor. Last 2. Stay with it, work that core. Last 1. Hold. Roll through the spine, one bone at a time. Palms down, feet down, one at a time. You can roll the neck from side to side here. Lovely. We're just going to come up into, we're not coming up, sorry. We're going to place our head cushions back underneath for using it. We're going to do a little bit more for the core. So let's double knee fold the legs and glue them together. Head's going to stay down on the mat. Find your nice neutral pelvis. I'm going to bring the arms nice and wide in a low V shape. So the arms are going to help support us. With the legs glued together, keeping our neutral spine, we're going to roll to the west. So we're going to roll right as far as you can, keeping your shoulders down and controlling the movement. You're going to pause, and then you're going to roll back through one bone at a time, back to center and back to your neutral. So we're going to go to the other side. Let's inhale to prepare. Exhale, going to roll across to the east. Knees stay together. Inhale to pause. Exhale, use your core and your breath to bring you back to the center. Let's go again. So using that breath, exhaling to turn. Keeping your knees glued together, thighs squeezing together. Inhaling to pause. Exhale, draw it back. And really pull your lower core in. You'll feel it. Pull your legs back through. And it's not a fast movement. Don't let gravity, just take your legs. You want to feel that rotation in the low spine. If this is too much for you with the legs up, do the same thing but with your legs down. So your legs glued together as one unit. So we're working the side, your obliques. Exhaling to turn. Shoulders down, rib cage down. Let's go for one more to each side. Just readjusting my head cushion. Through and test your range. Last one. Wherever you are, just going to roll through, finishing off, and core comes back and feet come back down one at a time. Lovely. You can roll the neck again. You can give the legs a little roll as well if you want to release. Just windscreen the legs from side to side to release those hips. Sorry, I'm just like, what are we doing next? Okay, so we're just going to come onto our fronts. I'm going to come up to seated and just flip around because for some reason I prefer to face this way rather than facing the bookshelf. So I'm going to come to our fronts and we're going to do some extension now. So just coming down onto your mat, bring the hands in the little diamond shape. So I've got my hands like this and a little pillow for my forehead. Legs are going to be hip distance apart, turned out, or sorry, it's about your mat width turned out. I'm going to come down our head to the ground. From here, just think of pushing your pelvis into the floor a little bit so you have a little bit of centering, and your shoulders should feel relaxed. So take your arms as wide as you need to. We're going to start by drawing a line with the nose across the mat, and then we're going to extend through the spine, one bone at a time, just to your mid-back. Gaze is just in front of you and down. And then we're going to roll back down, one bone at a time. Head comes down. So we're inhaling to prepare. We're exhaling to draw a line with the nose coming up through your extension. Pelvis is still. Inhale at the top. Exhale, coming back down. Trying not at the top to come too high with the chin. It's really easy to do that. Let's do one more like that. Coming up into your extension. Pelvis is relaxed. Just working that upper back and rolling back down one bone at a time. We're going to challenge ourselves a little bit and go into some star. So we're going to bring the arms straight at just like as wide as our shoulder distance, like we did in that rib cage closure at the beginning. We're going to come into our extension. We'll draw a line with the nose on the exhale, and we're going to let the shoulder blades glide down the back. Palms are going to come towards us, and we're going to hold our extension. So this might be enough. You're holding here and breathing and practicing, but we're going to add a little leg raise. So keeping the pelvis nice and steady and the spine still. You're going to lengthen the right leg away and lift it off the ground as high as you can without moving anything else. Then you're going to lower. We're alternating. So you're going to exhale to lift the left leg. Inhale to lower it. Using your core a little bit more here because we're keeping that whole spine still. And you're just going as high as you can without moving anything else. So you might feel the glutes get engaged, lifting that thigh up, we're mobilizing that hip, alternating sides, strengthening that back, upper back, mid back, lower back, glutes, hamstrings, all along that back side. Might feel it in the arms a little bit too. And lift. Let's go for 4 more. Lift. Anchor the opposite hip down as you lift and lower. 3. Exhaling. 2. And last one. Lift. Inhale at the top. And exhale, let's peel back down to the ground. Bring the legs together. Hands alongside the ribs. And let's push back into a nice child's pose for a second. Knees together, so we're releasing through the lower back a little more. So just breathing there, strengthening, straightening the arms. Take a couple of deep breaths into the ribs. And then from here, we're just going to come up, peel the body up into a nice 4-point kneeling position. So in our 4-point kneeling, we want our knees under our hips and our hands under our shoulders. From here, I always want you to think of gravity. So you want to think where gravity pulls you, wants to take you down, you're going to resist it. So the back of the neck is up, the chin, we're still looking downwards towards our hands, we're not looking forwards. Think of a long line from the head to the tail. Then your ribs aren't sinking, little lift, but not so much you're pushing through your spine. Just a gentle lift in the lower ribs and the back, and the pelvis is nice and neutral. From here, we're going to go into our cat. So we're going to flex the entire spine and the hips. So we're going to start with the base of the spine, and we're going to tuck the tailbone under. So think of your north And then you're going to ripple through the spine, one bone at a time, chin last. Going to pause, and we're going to lengthen everything back to our lovely start position. And let's go again. We're going to inhale, long exhale, tucking the tailbone under, ripple through the spine, one bone at a time. Inhale into the ribs. Exhale, let's lengthen head and tail away from each other at the same time, back to your start. Let's do this a few more times. We're going to ripple through, finding that lovely neutral. Feel that stretch, should feel lovely. After those extensions to release, let's do one more like that. Exhale, ripple, sending the hips forward slightly. Inhaling, exhale, back to your start. Right, we're going to challenge that a little bit, so I'm going to move forward a little bit. And we're going to keep the spine completely still, and we're going to slide the right leg out, tuck the toe, slide the left leg out, tuck the toe, slide and hold. Then we're going to slide the left leg back in, slide the right leg back in. So just doing a little cheeky tabletop situation. So we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, let's slide. Inhale to hold. Exhale to slide. Inhale to hold. Exhale to slide. Inhale to hold. Exhale to slide. So we're just doing one breath per movement, alternating our starting sides. I didn't alternate just then, I know. But I want your focus to be on the spine and keeping it completely still throughout this movement. So the only thing you're aiming to move is that leg, those legs. So lots of core to keep you nice and stable. And do one more round. A lot different to when you just sort of jump into a plank. A lot more mindful as well. Keep that core drawing in and slide, and then just bring the legs together, and let's come into a little rest pose just to get the wrists relaxed. Going to roll through the wrists here, give a little rotation, and then we're going to come into some side lying work. So grabbing your smaller cushion, and we're going to come onto our sides. Let's bend the knees at 90, and the bottom arm is lengthening away. You want your arm in line with your spine, nice neutral pelvis, neutral spine, knees in this little tabletop position, arms overhead. I've got my cushion just to place under my head just to get a bit more of an alignment here. So feel your way with your body, see if you're in a nice neutral position. And with your arm underneath, I want you to think of just snuggling it under a little bit and lift in the lower core. So rather than dumping down, you want to lift those ribs away from the floor, maintain that connection with your core the whole time. We're going to lengthen that top leg away and in line with the body. So from here, check your alignment again. We're just going to think lengthening the leg away, top hand is in front to help support. We're going to flex the foot, and we're going to just bring it slightly behind the body, and you're going to swing it forwards as far as you can without disturbing the spine. So you're going to inhale back, exhale forwards. If you want a bit fancier footwork, we're going to point the toe to go back, flex the foot to come forwards. Keeping that foot parallel with the ground and at hip height. Inhaling and exhaling. So we're trying to make sure we go behind the body as well, because you want some extension in that hip, because we're mobilizing that hip, but also we're keeping the spine nice and still. So if you feel yourself rocking too much, either dial up your core or just reduce the motion a little bit. Good. Inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward. We're going to go for two more. Bottom leg is active, inhale back, exhale forwards, and then bring that leg back to the start. We're going to just go straight into some leg circles. So imagine your toes in the middle of a circle. You're going to come forwards, round and back. Pointing the toe, inhaling for half of the circle, exhaling for half. Inhale for half, exhale for half. Keeping that pelvis nice and steady. One more in that direction. Come back to your starting position and we're going to reverse. So back, forward, down and round. Being sure to take that leg behind the body a little bit. Upper body's relaxed, keep that core engaged. Let's go for 2 more. Last one there. And bring the leg back to your start. Bend the knee. Woo! Tap, 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 tap on the old glute. It's going to get my bigger block. I'm going to place it under my head. So same legs. And we're going to bring the arm underneath the body this time. You want to snuggle that shoulder blade under. Place your head on the front of your cushion or block. And place the arm on top of the arm. So the hands aren't going to touch here because otherwise one arm will be pulling forward. So think shoulders over shoulders. So my palm is sort of just about towards the center. Top palm is just about in towards the center of my bottom palm. We're going to do some arm openings. So we're going to mobilize the upper body, a bit of rotation. And we're going to mobilize the shoulders as well. So keeping the spine nice and still, we're just going to open the top arm above the shoulder and let the head follow. Then you're going to rotate the spine. Arm is just going along for the ride as far as you can without disturbing the pelvis. Then you're going to bring that arm back over the shoulder. And then you're going to close again. So make sure you've got enough space to go backwards. I just about have enough space. So you're going to inhale to bring the arm up. Exhale, let the torso rotate. Think of the upper body rotating. Then you're going to exhale to bring it back. And come back down. Let's get that breathing pattern again. It's inhale to lift. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to bring it back up over the shoulder. Exhale to come down. So you're using your core here to defy gravity with that lower part of your body, but also to prevent the pelvis from moving. So you want the knees facing forward the whole time. And keep that shoulder blade on your back. So don't let your arm just hang down. So this is a really nice stretch for the upper body. I love a rotation. Sort of like reminds me of the hip rolls we did. So we're really wringing out our body. Let's do 2 more. Open. Rotate the spine. That lovely sequential movement coming back. And close. Check the core, still nice and engaged. Last one. Open. Rotate nicely. Don't fall off your block. Come back. And down. Lovely. I'm just going to use the hand to come up. I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. So I'm going to take my blocks with me. I'm rotating round, but you can just turn your back. But obviously, I'd like to keep my eyes on. So let's get that bottom arm lengthened, snuggled under, head cushion if you're using one. Bring the knees at 90. Check that core is nice and engaged. We're going to straighten that top leg. Check you're nice and aligned and not rolled out. We're going to flex the foot. We're going to bring it behind the body and bring it forward, doing our front and back. So we're going to inhale back and point if we're pointing. Exhale, flex forward. So doing 8, 3, 4. You can put your hand on your hip as well if you want to feel the reaction. Be sure to bring that foot behind the body as well as in front. Last 2. And 1. Flex. And point, bring it back in line with the body. We're going into those circles. We're doing 5 in one direction. Keep it slow. Inhaling for half, exhaling for half, lots of core. 4. No, 3. 4, I'm cheating myself out of circles. 5, and I'm going to reverse. Let's go backwards. 1. 2. 3, stay with it, keep that leg at hip height. 4, last 1, And bring that leg back in. Tap, 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 tap. Just going to come up a little bit and grab my block for those arm openings. So I'm going to do 6 in total. So move my cushion out the way. Coming to the front of your mat. Make sure you've got space behind you again. Get that shoulder under shoulder. Head at the front of the block or cushion. Hand on top of hand. Check the core's nice and engaged. Pelvis is nice and neutral. Let's do it. Let's inhale to open. Exhale, let's rotate the spine. Arm just stays in line with the shoulder. Inhale to come back. Exhale to come forward. I'm going to snuggle myself forward a little bit so I've got more space. You keep going. I love this exercise, so I'm going to get full benefits of it, especially when your upper back is, if your upper back is super tight, you might find this feels quite sticky when you bring the arm round. So you can always linger in a position for a second and just let gravity loosen it up. Rotating that spine. Let's do 3 more. Open. Core's nice and engaged. Rotate, let the head follow. Bring the arm back. So think of it as 4 points. We open. Exhaling, we rotate. Inhale, rotate the spine back. Exhale to come down. Last one. Open. Rotate. Bring it back. And coming down. Lovely. Just bring that palm, come up to a nice seated position. I'm going to face you for this one. So we're just going to do a little bit of side bending seating. So I'm going to sit on a block. If you find that you are particularly tight in the hips, I find sitting on your cushion, your bigger cushion, might loosen up the hips a little bit. You might be fine on the floor. I like to sit on a cushion because it gives me a little bit more space in my hip joints. So you're going to bring the hands to either side. We're just going to do some side bending. So first going to float one arm up. Then starting with the head, we're going to flex the spine to the side. Other arm can reach away and bend as you lengthen. You're then going to restack the spine 1 bone at a time and come back down. So we're going to inhale to bring the arm up. Exhale, head, neck, upper back, mid back as you reach. You're going to inhale to pause. Exhale, restacking the spine 1 bone at a time and back down again. So we're keeping the hips still and heavy and try not to move them. So just open through, coming as far as you can, just bending, not twisting, and back up again. Inhaling to lift. Exhale, flex, laterally flex the spine. Coming back up 1 bone at a time. Let's do 1 more to each side. Lengthen up. Reach up and over. Should feel really nice. Coming up through and down. Last one. Inhaling to lift. Exhale. Let's reach. Inhale, we pause. Exhale, restack the spine. Lovely. We're just going to come up to standing. So come off your block. You can come onto all fours. Just going to come onto the tiptoes. Hang out here for a second. Just moving. Just wake up those toes and those feet, mobilizing the hips a little bit. Find some nice gentle movement there. And then we're just going to send the heels down and roll up through the spine. Nice and slowly. We're going to mobilize the upper part of our back in a little bit of spine, in a bit of twisting. So we're just going to bring the feet together, hip distance apart, and find your standing correctly position. So feet at hip distance, length through the torso. Let's lengthen down the lower back. Cores just turned on a little bit to keep you nice and stable. Length through the collarbones, arms down the sides. We're going to take the arms up into a little Cossack position. So one arm's on top of each other and slightly lower than the shoulders. Relax the shoulders down. We're going to start with some standing waist twists. So sequentially, we're going to flex, we're going to rotate the spine. So we're gonna start with the head. I'm gonna turn head, neck, upper back, mid back, arms just follow along as far as you can, keeping your neutral pelvis. And then you're gonna return back to the start, one bone at a time, head last. So you're gonna inhale, exhale to twist, one bone at a time. Inhale to return back to the start, nice and sequentially. Twisting to one side, one bone at a time, and bringing everything back to the start. So let's do one more to each side. Well, no, 3 more, I guess, because we started going the other direction. 1 breath per movement, and don't bring your arms further back than your head. So your head stays in the center of your hands, and coming back through center. Let's just do 1 more to the other side. Head round, lovely, and back through center, and release the arms. Give the shoulders a little roll. It's quite taxing on the shoulders, isn't it? Not gonna lie, this. You can give a little shoulders a little roll. We're gonna do Pilates squat. Just mobilize the ankles a little bit more, and then we're almost there towards the end of our workout. So just standing exactly where I are, but I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to start by keep your nice neutral pelvis facing forwards. You're going to bend at the knees, hips, ankles as far as you can, keeping your neutral pelvis, and then you're going to stand. So it's an inhale to lower and an exhale to stand. So you're not going to get as deep as you would in a normal squat. Exhale, stand. We're just mobilizing the hips, reconnecting with that breath and that neutral spine that we have. And let's do 2 more. Send the knees forward. You want to keep the spine completely still, but take it down, let the gaze follow. Last one. Down and up. And turning back to face you. We're going to do some corkscrew arms, a lovely one for the shoulders, a lovely one to sort of loosen everything up after all of that work. We're going to bring the hands down the side. You're going to raise the arms up overhead and clasp them behind. We're going to raise the shoulders up, bring them back down, release the hands, and arms float back down again. I love this one. Going to inhale to lift and clasp. Exhale, raise the shoulders. Inhale to lower. Exhale to explode back down, reaching the arms just at a nice V in front of the body. Inhaling in. Exhale, let's lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale, explode the arms back down. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, explode. Very nice. And finishing with some roll downs. Classic finisher. Keeping the feet at that lovely hip distance. We're going to stand up nice and tall. Nice neutral pelvis, neutral spine. We're going to nod the chin and sequentially flex the whole spine. So we're going to come down 1 bone at a time. Let the head hang. And then you release through the hips. Let's bend the knees on this one just to relax everything down. Straighten the legs. And exhale, come back up, peeling back up to your starting position. So it's an inhale at the top. Long exhale, let's peel through. Think of every single part of that back, peeling away from an imaginary wall. Then release the hips. You're going to inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under as you restack the spine, 1 bone at a time. Last one. We're going straight through the legs. Exhaling to come down, peel your body away. Let everything feel relaxed. You're still holding on to your centering, your core's guiding that movement. You're going to pause at the bottom, and then we're going to roll back up. 1 bone at a time back to our start. That there was our full body Pilates workout. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel mobilized. So have a lovely